Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Teen Titans Roll. We continue where we left off last time. You guys have all been dropped off in the desert. Now, Logan was on one of those helicopters, and when the helicopters drop you off at a point, they then take off once more into the sky, and he kind of yells down to you, "Meet me back at the rendezvous point when you're done. Good luck."
Where's the
And
rendezvous point?
you know where it is.
Okay.
It's been given to you guys in the mission information.
I
It's
don't
part of the
read.
briefing. um So it's another position out in the desert. Once you guys are done with this, the helicopters will meet you again and exfiltrate you from the mission zone. Um, so you guys are trudging through the desert. You will be together for a little while here, but then you're going to have to start splitting off to reposition yourselves. So is there anything that anyone uh we don't currently have Raven with us at the moment, but is there anything that anyone wants to say or do while you're walking together or after you split off, either to your teammates or to these criminal folk who you're paired up with?
So we are, in fact, switched into tactical gear at this point.
Yes, you would have been able to pick up some black like tactical gear in the military base so that your uniforms are not as colorful and recognizable as usual.
Mine is just this gigantic thing. Is it split open at the top, so my chest hair is showing?
What?
I feel like my buffness requires
You don't? Okay. A big part of the characterization of Cyborg is that he's sad because he no longer has chest hair and stuff like that.
He has a robot chest.
I can fake that. I cast this guy's self just to get chest hair.
Okay. I imagine.
Not right now. I'll save that for if I need to disguise myself as a guard, which is actually probably a good idea.
Okay.
I googled Starfire tactical gear, and this is what came up.
What? Let's see in this audio medium.
Oh my goodness!
It is a picture of a keychain. Oh, of like a dog tag.
Of like a dog tag with a Teen Titans Go Starfire on it. I just want to know who has that, and I hope they're in the army wearing
it. Indeed. All respect to our veterans, but you need to be wearing Teen Titans Go merch.
Be sure you bring protection
while you're in the desert.
I think my tactical outfit is just like pretty much my normal outfit, but black and without big metal like things.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, so yeah, you're traveling
along. Would it
along.
be possible when we're walking for me to pull Blackfire aside into a private conversation?
Yeah, you want to hop. So you're walking next to this big shark man, and a couple paces away in the desert is Starfire and her sister. Do you want to pop over there?
Yeah, but I want to see if I can figure out how to pull her aside so that I could talk to her, not in Starfire's earshot.
Okay, yeah, you can try to do that. How are you approaching that? How are you doing so?
Hey, Starfire, can I speak to your sister for a second?
Okay.
In private.
Sure. I just sort of let them walk ahead a couple paces.
Yeah, okay, I'll walk ahead.
Yeah, so Blackfire kind of raises an eyebrow, but she's kind of intrigued by this development. And so she walks away a couple paces with you. She looks down at you and she says, "Yeah, what did you need, kid?"
So, I know Starfire cares a lot about you. Because she's a good person, and she really cares about you because you're her sister. And I know what you did with the necklace was not cool at all. So don't try anything like that again, because I don't like when people mess with my friends.
She looks down at you and she says, "Huh. You know, it's an interesting thought that you have to be a good person, whatever that means, to care about people."
What you did didn't seem very caring. You framed her, and you were gonna have her arrested. You knew that, right?
Yeah, I knew that. That's why I did it. You know, being arrested is really not all it's cracked up to be. Not fun, sure. That's why I tried to lay it off on my sister. But you know, Star could really do with some hard life lessons sometimes. Did you have anything not so condescending you wanted to talk to me about?
I guess just good luck.
Okay. Bye.
I walk away.
Yeah. She's just like, okay, what the heck? she kind of walks back over to you, Star, you know,
Big
and
balls, Beast Boy.
and she's standing there. I guess make an insight check if you want.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need. Oh yeah, we are
Roll
rolling on
20.
the internet here,
Mhm.
like future boys. And insight is wisdom, right?
Yes.
That's an unnatural 20.
Wow. Nice. So she steps over near you. She's trying to be her kind of cool, collected self, as usual. But there's just a little bit of like an awkwardness in her body language. Kind of like when she steps back closer to you after that conversation with Beast Boy, she just seems just a little uh like more uncomfortable in your vicinity.
Okay, yeah, I sort of shoot a glance back to Beast Boy and then back at Blackfire with literally no idea what just occurred.
Yeah. But there does definitely seem to be a mood change with her in reference to you. You can tell that's the case.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah, anyone else interactions with each other or these bad guys?
Do I know anything about King Shark at all? Like,
No. You know
I've
he is a
never seen,
shark.
never heard of this thing.
No. He is standing, he's walking next to you, and he's just kind of like, you know, panting in the night.
Okay.
And he seems to be like, it's better because it's nighttime, but like when he was on the military base, he was like kind of sweating a lot and panting even more so.
I whisper over to Cyborg. I'm like, Cyborg, what is that?
You can't just say that.
He's a shark man.
So
Yes,
the
yes, it is,
person
obviously.
so the person next to you, Cyborg, because you leaned over to that group, Captain Boomerang goes, "Oh, yeah, he's a shark."
He's a shark man.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a man. I haven't checked the nethers.
I mean, he has hands.
Wait,
He looks so King Shark looks at you. He just he looks down at you like for kind of almost the first time, and he just kind of is looking at you.
I wave at him.
wait, Beast Boy. The real test to see if he's a beast. Can you shape and shift into him?
He
Good
he
point.
he lifts up a hand
I
at
lift up
you.
a hand back.
He points at your hand with his other hand.
I point at his hand.
He goes, hand.
I give him a high five.
He kind of reacts slightly surprised and looks at his hand that you high fived.
Oh, is hand. Is that not what you wanted?
He points at himself. He goes, none away.
I point at myself. I say, Beast Boy.
He points to you. Goes, Bibba boy.
Beast Boy.
Beast boy.
Yeah, good. I give him thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
He holds his hands near his face while he's walking, and he kind of just wiggles his thumbs.
All right, he's all right.
I want to slide over to Robin. Where is Robin?
Robin's in the group, probably maybe near the front of the group, walking with Harley Quinn.
Okay, I guess I sort of lean whisper slightly. I'm just like, Robin, will you be okay?
I kind of look over at Harley and then look back at Starfire. And I'll be okay. We'll make it out of this. I promise.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
To
I
see
guess.
how confident he actually is about that.
If you at all don't feel confident or are trying to hide any emotional elements, then you can roll a contested deception, I guess.
Just because we're going into this without any without a super solid fallback or strategy, and there's real supervillains here, some of whom have presumably traumatized Robin in some way, shape, or form. And so I don't know. I think I'm trying to comfort him, but I'm also sort of trying to look to him for reassurance at the same time.
Darn it!
Wow, that's amazing! Amazing insight.
Wow.
For the listeners, he rolled a 20 and I rolled a 21.
Yeah. Okay, so you were being deceptive. In what fashions were you what were you concealing? Just a lack of full confidence for the future of the situation, or
in lack of full confidence that this is going to be not that we're not going to complete the mission, that we're going to be compromised in the process.
Okay, yeah, you're afraid that there's going to be some kind of consequence to us doing this, some sort of trade-off, some kind of a loss, right?
Yes.
Am I able to pick up on that?
Yeah, I think so. Essentially, that probably that you'd be able to tell that he doesn't feel like you guys are going to come out of this 100% unscathed at the least.
Yeah.
And you would pick up that might just mean more psychological, than physical, like with Cinderblock's situation. So yeah.
I am going to reach out. I'm going to take his hand in my hand, and I'm going to say, "We overcame Slade. You got away from Slade. Um, you all managed to pull me out of that strange dimension, and we have faced worse than this."
I turn to her and just like pull her into a hug.
Yeah,
Oh.
I passionately and spicily hug back.
Whoa.
Oh,
Ooh.
the training move, Starfire.
Wait, what?
Nobody else knows that clip of Teen Titan.
Oh, yeah.
Young Justice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're
Right
kind
in
of
front of all of these stupid head villains.
so so you hug her like that for a moment, and it's a sweet moment.
Can I
And
toss in, while I'm hugging Robin, like, I am fully invested, I am very passionate about it, but like there's just an instant where I'm like, my head's over his shoulder and I open my eyes and I stare the deadliest look at her.
well, see
There
that's
it
the
is.
thing. When you open your eyes, she's repositioned so that she's standing behind where you both are.
Yeah.
Like, instead of where she was to the side. Like, you realize that now. Like, you open your eyes to glare at her and you realize she's not there. You turn backwards and you see her, and there's like a big heart bubble around her, and she's holding her hands clasped to the side with her head cocked to the side. She goes, "Oh my goodness, aren't you two the cutest ever?"
I'm trying to psychically tell her that if anything happens to Robin, I will break my oaths and murder her. She might not be picking up on that, but that is what I'm saying with my eyes.
I would say roll intimidation, and I'll have her do a contested insight check.
Okay. All of this psychic anime communication is good.
You're just trying to read everyone.
I just can't wait to see this roll.
It's an 11. I mean, my charisma sucks.
And so does her insight. Weirdly enough, she's a psychologist, but she's also like let the Joker string her along for years, so it's kind of up in the air about what her insight score should really be.
I think the Joker is just supposed to have really high charisma, but that doesn't necessarily usually convey very well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just extremely manipulative.
I just really want this roll to be a 1. For her to just not to pay attention at all.
Well, she fails the insight, actually. So that's actually bad. She needed to roll well to pick up on the proper danger vibes. So she just keeps like bubbling at this, and she like takes a step forward. She kind of like puts a hand on both your shoulders, and she like sticks her head into the whole situation, and she's like, "Oh, but Robbie," and she like it's like she's whispering to him, but obviously you're so close, and she's not trying very hard. She goes, "What'll that Batsy girl think?"
I'm sort of confused at first, then a bit dumbstruck.
I'm confused too at this point.
Well, so
Batgirl?
there was a little bit of Batgirl involvement. Well, it's not like there was romantic involvement. In fact, there may have been the opposite of that, maybe a version. But Batgirl was on the scene during a little bit of overlap when you were last working in Gotham.
Oh. It's like, she's just a teammate. Let's go.
Mm-hmm, okay. She like steps back and like kind of like waves her hands, her fingers, like.
As they sort of walk on, my brain is kind of like, who is just a teammate?
And that's why I said it.
I would like to approach Captain Boomerang.
Well, he's right next to you.
Oh, good. I turn to him and
approach
say,
from inches away.
he says, I have the basic profile. You're an infiltrator and explosive engineer.
He goes, "Oh, well, that's the most flattering description of my expertise that I've heard in a while, mate."
Oh, well, thank you. Anything else I should know or any specialties?
He's like, "Well, maybe just if you get some heroic urges," he says, "don't think you can get the jump on me.
Don't worry
Quicker,"
about.
he says, "quicker men than you have tried."
I have no reason to. I just want to finish this job and get out. You got my back. I get yours. We each do our separate skills, and maybe we'll work well together. I'm a good meat shield and a good hacker.
He says, "Well, crikey, mate, sounds good to me."
I can also punch a hole through things pretty good, though it sounds like you can do one better. But I got lots of little tiny things I can pull out of the hat. I'm a little stealthier than I look, and I have some devices that'll give us disguises, invisibility, whatever else we need. So let's just make sure we work together and get this thing done.
He tips his hat, and he says, "Sounds like a plan then."
Yep.
All right.
No, talk to him more. Make Joey try to do
Aus-
an Australian
Aus-
accent even more.
Worth noting, you got a history of collateral damage. I'm gonna try and minimize that. Okay. Let's see if we can get out of this with as little bloodshed as possible.
Interesting. One moment.
But make no mistake, if something needs to get hit hard, well, got to do what you got to do.
Right.
And you can trust me to do what I need to do as well.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be all right. And he kind of leans over, says, "Hey, I try not to mess with people who I don't know what the age situation is. Any of your teammates your age, bouts?"
If you're asking, I'm the only one who's over 18.
He kind of he like holds his hands back. He's like, all right then. And he just kind of like he pulls out like kind of a sharp boomerang and kind of pulls off one of his gloves and starts like cleaning under his fingernails.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Do we have a specific? I know in our briefing, were we given a specific timing of when we shut down power, or we just do it as fast as possible?
So it's gonna be kind of I guess kind of somewhere in between the two aspects. I mean,
Okay.
it'll be when you get in there, you eliminate the immediate threats, and then you turn off. Just be ready to do it when the time comes. Like,
Right.
everyone should be in positions by then, but if something comes over comms that says, "Oh, so and so wasn't able to get to this," then you might want to delay, because as soon as you turn that thing off, it's going to be like a ton of sound no longer happening that was filling the whole place, and
It's
going to
time.
be immediate go time. Yeah.
I say if we get there and if it's not time to hit it, I can cast a little extra dimensional space for us to crawl into and hide, or just
because that never goes poorly.
Or just make ourselves invisible. We can find out good ways.
He just nods at this point. He's just kind of he's cleaning his nails. He seems to think that sounds fine.
Sounds good. Well, hey, your specialty is infiltration, so I'll largely take your guidance on actually getting there. But I'll offer I'll offer you ideas as we go.
All right. So rest of the group, so Killer Frost and Raven are bringing up the back. Obviously, we don't have Charlie here right now, but it's probably pretty much like Killer Frost kind of stretches and oddly kind of like shivers a bit, kind of holding her arms. It's just, ugh, it's so cold in the desert at night. And Raven just sort of like looks at her. So yeah, at you guys reach a point in the desert where you know you're the distance where you guys start splitting off into singular groups or into groups of two with your respective supervillains, and will soon be sneaking into the those areas. If there's any one-on-one conversations you want to have with your new partners one-on-one, you feel free to do so. Otherwise, we will move to y'all's stealth checks.
Right before we all split up, Robin just turns back to everybody. Just be efficient, be quick, be safe. And turns and starts going. And when he makes it far enough away from everybody, he tells Harley to wait a second, ducks behind a dune.
She goes, what are we wait? She says, what are we waiting for, Robbie? And she kind of like peeks over the dune a little bit while you're like taking off your shirt.
He doesn't care. I'm just gonna just keep changing over.
She goes, scandalous. She like puts a hand over her face, but like with put some of the fingers apart. So yeah, so you're changing into your Red X costume, like you discussed. All right.
Oh, so that's after we're gone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because fuck that.
Yeah,
it wasn't going to be around any of you guys.
So you come back out from the dune in your Red X gear, and Harley just kind of looks at you for a sec, and like weirdly the accent drops slightly. She says, hey Robin, are you all good?
This mission will succeed.
She just kind of like looks at you for a moment. She has an analytical perception that you haven't quite seen on her before. I mean, you know her criminal profile. You know what she used to be as a psychotherapist. And it seems like a little bit of that persona is coming out in this moment while she looks you up and down, but it's only for a moment. And she just says, okay, dark and handsome. And then she like skips down the road.
Okay, so because I don't know how much King Shark would be able to retain, can you tell me what I was supposed to do after we get in through the access of the water?
Yes.
I don't remember.
So you guys have essentially you both have like a duffel bag with like C4 in it. And you were given a brief instructional by a Marine on how to put this in the C4 and place it on tape it to a surface, and like safety features. He looked very uncomfortable with the fact that he was teaching a child, even a superhero child, and a big
superhero child and a big
shark.
And
a big shark. He was like, this is absolutely some Black Ops bullshit. But you know, hey, I'm getting a bonus. So he gave you instruction for that, and you have those each you each have a duffel bag of those. So you're gonna go upstream and you're gonna swim under the water to the turbines, and you're gonna want to keep a safe distance from the turbines until they shut off, and then swim into them into the inner portion. And because once they're off, you can swim into the facility and then just set bombs near the facility. You were given like a kind of like they did a drawing. Basically, they showed you like a blueprint. They were like, so once you get inside that main room there, once that you get in to the facility, you're gonna want to set the bombs and then come out.
Yeah, okay. Did they say how far to put the bombs in, or like any specified area, or just put them in?
It's pretty much like the plan. They knew that that neither of you are demolitions experts, so the plan seems to just be high enough yield from this point in a very critical point, because if it blows up the turbines, then the whole thing will come down. So
Sounds good.
yeah, low
Okay.
low yeah, anyway, so yeah, so that's what you know. So yeah, so I guess let's see, let's go to well, of course, if you guys want to have any conversation on the way, but let's go to Starfire and Blackfire. You two you now start to probably fly low across the ground, and you're going to sneak into the ravine on the drier side of the dam, so that you can be in position to engage the forces there when the time comes. And I will actually switch maps to, I haven't fully set up all the things in this map, but this is what it will look like for you guys. Okay.
Oh, different desert map.
Yep.
Ooh.
So this is I have two maps that are kind of a middle point, is more representative of what the dam setup looks like, but this is kind of more useful for you guys down on the drier side. So go ahead and roll stealth for me.
I'm trying to decide if I want to use a spell slot on greater invisibility or not. So help me understand our task. Are we the distraction?
So yes, when the power goes off,
Uh-huh.
you will immediately engage the armed forces here, so that they don't send reinforcements to the rest of the facility.
I think that I would actually ask Blackfire, because she seems more acquainted with these situations, whether it would be a good idea for us to expend, for like invisibility. Like, how essential is the stealth aspect of this, really?
Okay. All right. So you start to ask her your question, in typical Starfire fashion. Sister, perhaps we blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And as she's listening to you, her you can see her she seems just like a little frustrated as she's standing there, like listening to your suggestion, and she kind of cuts you off towards the end of it, and she says, well, Starfire, if you want to do something like that, you can. If you're really afraid of these humans so much.
I just look at her incredibly annoyed, and I don't say anything else. Just like, okay, we're not even doing teamwork.
She looks at you, and you're silenced there for a moment, like after you just kind of like, it's clear that you're just not going to respond to that.
Yeah.
And she just goes, yeah, that's what I thought. She flies ahead a little bit.
Oh.
God, I'm so sorry.
It's just like family IRL.
I'm so satisfied with what I've crafted slash taken from the show as her motivations, like, and why she would act a certain way towards you, and how you feel towards her and would act towards her based off of your own motivations for Starfire and what you've taken from the show, and how perfectly those are clashing are like, yes, I don't even have to try. I just have to play the character, and
She's completely baffling to me. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know what she wants.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow after. I'm not gonna use invisibility.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check for.
My stealth check is 23.
Okay, and hers is even higher at a 28. So she seems to have actually, or you're relying on your natural speed and higher perception to like help you like be dexterous and weave into places faster than people could perceive you. She also seems to have been developing her, or maybe like even before this time back out when she was on her own in space, she's developed her proficiency in stealth itself. So she's also using some level of technique along with her natural abilities.
Right.
Um, okay, so um, you follow along her path as she speedily weaves into darker shadows, and along the ground down into this canyon until you guys also alight finally where you see yourself in this ravine, next to the smaller river that comes out from the dam. So yeah, you are there now with her. She descends down softly onto the ground, and kind of looks. She kind of like cranes her neck to like look around the bend of the river just to make sure there aren't any stray soldiers down here for some reason. And she seems to be looking in that direction right now. You're watching her observe this situation from behind. So if there's anything you would like to say to her or do in the meantime.
I don't. I mean, I guess I could scope out the scene. Is there any benefit in doing that?
Well,
I think
I mean,
I think that for better or for worse, I'm kind of following her lead because she is the one who has experience, seems to have some kind of experience in like tactical military reconnaissance, and I'm kind of a wrecking ball.
right.
So I'm just kind of gonna be doing generally what she's doing.
Okay. So yeah, so you watch her as she looks down the river, and after about a minute of observing in this way, she leans back and kind of lets her breath out. All right. I don't see anyone down here, so we should be all right until we hear the power go off. There's this constant thrum of the dam that kind of fills this whole canyon,
Right.
with sound. So there's like this passive sound where you can speak at low to mid levels without any worry about your voice carrying. So she stops and she just kind of looks back at you, and and then she seems to realize that now she just has to wait here with you for a while, and she kind of like darts her eyes away like pretty quickly after looking at your face, seeming to realize that now she can't get away from you.
So when the power goes out, that is when we shall strike.
Yes, Star. That's when we'll go engage those mechanized units. Tanks, I think the humans call them. A lot less sophisticated than most other worlds that Tamaran would raid in older times, so shouldn't be difficult.
And you will be well facing these tanks. You will not be the too weak.
Is that sarcasm?
She
I'm doing exactly
she
what she just did.
right. She looks at you and she says, "Working on your sense of humor, sister."
I have been told I am quite hilarious.
Hilarious looking, as the humans say. And then she just kind of she just kind of laughs to herself.
You look like a Grobnar Thargmazel.
She looks like genuinely like offended at that. She's like, "I do not look that." She says that breakout on my skin did not look like a glab tharg nozzle. She says, and it only lasted for a few days.
Runs out of things to say.
You
Okay.
still look like you're going through puberty.
It's like that was it's like that was a tremendous effort for me.
Just like, whew.
So after this, like, kind of like nagging, but it kind of turned good spirited. She laughs a little bit more, and then she just kind of gets more quiet. She says, so how have you been, Star? I've been interesting. It's been interesting to see different places of this planet you've been living on. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, as they say here, but then again, I've been in some of the, well, some of the more unfortunate places.
I hesitate, but then I kind of answer honestly. Things have not been so well with us either. We have faced many great challenges. We experienced internal conflict. Two of our members were kidnapped by the Slade and had to be rescued. And I was lost in a strange other dimension for a long time. I didn't know if I was going to get out. But I'm here. And even though it's been hard and it's been frightening, and I think I don't feel the same way that I did when we talked last. I think I am well. I believe I am well. My friends have helped me be well.
She's listening to you talk, and then there's a moment where her expression kind of changes a little bit. She says, and she reaches out, almost without realizing it. She reaches out like a hand, like, to your arm, to like hold your arm for a moment, and then kind of pulls back, kind of realizing her gesture, and says, you do not mean a expression of speech when you say other dimension, do you, sister?
No, I do not. I went to save a friend and was pulled into a strange place where all I could do was continue running, and I lost time, I lost awareness of myself, and I thought I might never escape. I thought perhaps I had gone to the realm of Scath, but I was saved, and I am thankful for that every day.
Hmm. She says, well, I don't know if it's worth much to you now from me, since given what we have become to one another, but I am glad that you are not there any longer.
Um, I'm sensing that I'm sort of, at least I think I'm sort of sensing her method. Yeah, my own human insight deteriorates also when I roleplay Starfire. And I once again use the cantrip message. Okay. Yeah, I once again use the cantrip message, and I say, sister, there is one reason and one reason alone I have come here, and it is to save you from this place.
She, like, as soon as you contact her in that way, she kind of like recoils again and kind of like pushes you back.
Mhm.
She says, she says, she says, sister, what do you believe me to be under the influence of some of who? Of Logan? Someone else?
I believe
Do
that
not need to speak to me with such strange underhanded methods.
yeah, I stopped using the mental communication then, and I say I believe that the agent Logan is not to be trusted, and that he uses people as though they were puppets.
Of course he does, Star. That's how most people are. Don't you understand that by now? Or have you been living amongst the humans for too long? Amongst the good portion of the humans, or what they call good with their simple views of morality. Where, she says, where is the warrior, Starfire, who understood that sometimes to gain in life, things must be lost on the battlefield? But this Logan, no, he has no strings on me. He doesn't control me. He's just another person, like so many other people just like him in the galaxy, that I have to use until he's not useful to me anymore.
I sort of have a brief memory, a brief flashback of the last time I saw her on Tamaran, whenever that was, um,
Mhm.
and I say, then you wish to be here.
She says, I don't know. I I know that if I left this planet, the Green Lantern Corps would be watching me closely, that the Centauri police would be not far behind them. I've I've made some choices, Starfire, and I have to live with them. And so that has put me in a certain place at a certain time. And, it's hard enough to have to deal with that fact without you looking at me with this guilting expression all the time.
You feel guilty.
I didn't say that, but I know that it's how you want me to feel. I know that it's how father would have wanted me to feel, and mother. Whenever I would decide something, I would just make a choice, and it was always the wrong one, Starfire. It came so easy to you to do the right thing. She does the air quotes expression that you've come to learn
Yeah.
from humans. And She says, "It was never that way for me. Life was never that simple for me."
But you do as you please. You've always done as you pleased. You go where you desire without without, and a rare moment of sarcasm, without being held down by the burden of what is right. So what is there to resent, sister? Why are you angry?
Why am I angry? Why am I angry? I'm not angry, Star. I am very sad. And you don't even know why. You don't even know the choice that I had to make, the choice I had to make for you, and what that did to me. And I can never tell you that. Because you'd never understand.
I can, with my knowledge of my sister, I can sense that there is something truly horrifying in whatever this black box is, and I hesitate and I say, please, tell me, explain, share your sadness with me, sister. You do not have to be alone.
She looks at you and she says, "Star, not here. Let's get this done first."
I nod.
And she turns away from you. She has a dark expression on her face, and she just kind of takes a few steps, paces away, and sits down on a rock. And near this bend in the river, she rubs her arm where she has gotten this, this tattoo. Gods know where she found a needle that could puncture Tamaranian skin on Earth, but it seems that whatever this, she rubs her arm, it kind of glows, shimmers faintly, and then she just kind of like crosses her arms in her chest, and she and like kind of shrugs her shoulders over so that she's kind of turned away from you for a while. Maybe she's trying to catch a couple minutes of rest before what's to come.
Yeah, I'm kind of just sitting and waiting and kind of wondering, trying to figure out what she's talking about. Whether whatever it is some kind of false construct that exists in her mind, a lie, or legitimately something deeply painful that she's struggling with. And every now and then the thought crosses my mind about the bat. Whoever she is. Whoever Robin's previous girlfriend is.
Yeah, the bat girl, as
the
Harley
Batgirl,
said.
yeah,
The Batgirl.
and amidst this, while these thoughts are rushing through my head, I am trying to remain confident, joyful, and righteous, so that I can perform the task that's ahead of me.
Such a burden to remain so righteous. Anyway.
What emotions powered Blackfire? Do we know?
Hey everyone, I'm just popping in again to remind you guys of our Titans Talk episode that I mentioned on the last episode. We are going to be holding a special episode after we are all done recording this mid-season or end-of-season
arc. And we would love to hear from you guys, get your questions for me about the whole process thus far. What kind of mechanics I employed, why I did things the way I did. If you have any questions like that, please contact us and let us know. You can contact us by emailing us at mindtheatermedia@gmail.com. Theater is spelled, in this case, as THEATRE. You can also follow us on Facebook at Mind Theater Media. And you can follow us on Twitter, which is, our handle is at MINDTHEATRDTWT. That's at Mind Theater Twitter. So, yes, if you have any questions or interests, or even if you just want to say hello and express your experience listening to the podcast, please contact us in one of these ways. And thanks for listening.
We switch back to Harley Quinn and Robin, and we are going to switch to another map. All right, so we are now here on this map, upper corner of it. I don't know if it zooms with me or if you have to zoom on your own, but in the top right corner is where you are, Robin, with Harley Quinn approaching a facility near, like, a little ways upriver from the dam, a military facility. Ignore the red dots. They're not significant. They're just, we're on the map already. I got it. So
Objective points.
yeah, if anyone recognizes this map,
Wait,
that'd be interesting.
I don't. Wait, this isn't Metal Gear, is it?
Is it Metal Gear?
It's Ground Zero.
It is Ground Zeroes. Okay. Damn.
Okay. All right. So
You get extra points if you don't kill them.
yeah. So you and Harley Quinn are on the road leading down to this facility here. You see the portion kind of the map that kind of like goes. There's the bottom left corner that goes off. There's like a cliff that goes down into the river. So there are some outbuildings ahead of this military installation, and so how would you like to proceed?
Can I get a really quick recap, just so it's in my mind, of what we're trying to do?
Yes. So you so this is as an element of distraction. This is similar to what Starfire and Blackfire's goal is. This is the main thing that will distract from extra military assistance. Because if you guys just were to merely hit the dam, then immediately, like, this base would immediately start sending helicopter patrols out, and it would be very difficult for you guys to succeed at hitting the dam without being intercepted by military patrol in the desert, like helicopter patrols and tank patrols and things like that. It'd be very difficult to exfiltrate you. So what you are doing is you are making your way into this base to the you're making your way to the command building. And so there's a command center and private residence of the military leader here. So you are going to try to sneak into the base, and you guys both also have, probably one duffel bag of ordnance to set off here, so that the base immediately go, like when the dam is attacked, the bomb will go off here simultaneously, so that uh that they're held up with an emergency situation on the base.
So our main objective is to get there stealthily,
Mhm.
put the ordinances down, detonate at the same time.
Yes, and you would have things timed for that. Essentially, probably the biggest cue would be when the bomb goes off just a little ways down the river, when the dam goes down, because a lot of things will happen simultaneously at the dam, but the biggest thing is when the bombs that Beast Boy and King Shark are setting go off, the whole dam will go, and that will be a big, noisy event that'll be able to be heard from here. And so, what to stop this base from immediately reacting, you then set the bombs off here, and you can set that off with remote trigger. You don't have to be in the base facility anymore to set the bombs off.
I turn to Harley. You better be quiet this whole time.
She says, quiet as a mouse, Robbie.
And stealthily, then I'm going to motion for us to move forward.
Okay. So go ahead and make a stealth roll. If you want to modify that with any abilities or anything, let me know beforehand.
Trying to remember if I have anything to modify it for besides invisibility.
Yeah, I don't think other than
No.
just straight up invisibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in that case, I'm just going to go with a regular roll then. I swear.
Ooh. Poggers.
Okay. I was like,
Natural 20.
my thing was over top of it. I'm like, I can't see what it is. It better be something good.
Yeah, natural 20 for 33 for you. And she didn't do amazing, but she has a good enough bonus to where yeah, she's good enough, especially with your check. So, what happens here is you sneak forward. You kind of veer off to those outbuildings on the way to the road as a jeep, as a few jeeps pull, like drive from behind where you were on the road towards the facility. You quickly um, take the initiative and kind of grab her arm and pull her along, and run and hang on underneath the jeep as it's moving. She's also hanging on there with your help, and but she's kind of like slightly less stealthy, but you're able to cover for her, and you get her under the bottom of the jeep you guys are hanging on to the bottom of it as it drives into the facility. The gates open for it, and you drop off just after getting past the gate. And you are now in the facility. You can veer off to one direction or the other. Doesn't really matter, but you leap off and you sneak into the facility. There are guards walking around this area. There are a few helicopters and Humvees and a couple armored personnel carriers. It's not a lot of this is World War II surplus and Chinese Chinese uh, equipment purchased from China, most likely. Older tanks, no Abrams, or anything like that, but stuff purchased by the Chinese. And yeah.
Do we have enough ordinances to plant some on these things to take them out before they're able to be used? Or do we have just
So
enough for what we need to blow up?
it's if as long as you don't divert too much, you could plant it on a few vehicles. Really, the main priority seemed to just be the command center.
Mm-hmm.
This is where radio communications go out from. And the place you were told, the mission briefing told you to go, was particularly to the private residence portion of the command center, which would damage the rest of the facility. So it makes enough sense. But you also know that this is simultaneously because Logan wants to get rid of the incriminating evidence there that the leader of this facility has on him.
Right. I remember
So he wants to make sure that most of the ordinance goes into not just the command center, but like his apartment in the command center, so that for sure gets destroyed, gets incinerated.
So if there's anything on the way there, I might throw like a couple things onto tanks or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you can do so. If you would like to do that. Now these things are parked out in kind of the semi-open. So if you want to do that, it would be an additional stealth check to do so. You can. It kind of will divert your path slightly to different objective points.
If it's going to divert the path, then probably not. I was thinking if there's anything in the path, but Robin's pretty laser focused on the mission at hand.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So you proceed through the facility. Your first stealth check to get past the entrance point is successful. You do know, however, that there are also security camera systems in the base, so you will want to navigate through the interior of the base while avoiding the lines of sight of those systems and on-the-ground personnel who... It's not like a heavily manned base, but it is... there are occasional patrol routes. So go ahead and give me a second stealth check as you proceed.
Ooh, that's not great. Yeah, almost the opposite.
Okay, thankfully she did a lot better in turn. So at this portion, you have a few things on your mind. For a moment, as you're proceeding through the facility, you have the thought of you have a moment where you hesitate because you have the thought about like maybe diverting some of the bombs to these other assets within the base. But Harley just kind of goes,
"Come on, Robbie, what are you doing?"
She like grabs your arm and pulls you into into a locker or something. Yeah, what are the one of the things in ground zeros that like a dumpster or some shit that pulls you into some Metal Gear Solid like hiding spot while a patrol walks past. And then you guys, she pushes the door back open.
She's like, "Not that I mind cozying up, but you're no Mr. J."
Focus on the mission.
Focus on the mission. You sound just like him, you know that?
And you know what
I just walk. I start going again.
Now, this is the portion where the security starts to tighten slightly more around the command building. The command building is this big building here, and I would say that red objective point is accurate to where the private facility is on the base. So go ahead and give me a stealth check to get through the security perimeter. All right, 26. At 26. That's pretty good. Let's hope Harley doesn't bungle it up. She almost did. Okay. So you are proceeding through this portion. The security is increasing a bit in this area because the security patrols are a little tighter around the control building. And you manage to get through the perimeter and you start looking around. You realize that you start to realize that there's going to be one of two ways to get to this facility. Either you're going to get inside the building, in which case it's going to be you're either going to get inside the bottom floor of the building and proceed up through the building to the second floor, and then in through each entryway through that building into this person's private residence. Or you start to notice that there's an exterior balcony of the private residence, and that there is a building, kind of a close nearby building, and that is at a similar level. There's a way, you see a path to get to this outer balcony from that ladder building. It would take a jump across a little portion, but it would probably be a lot easier than trying to sneak through a doorway, past security personnel, walking down corridors and hallways.
And question for you, my flight boots are rocket boots?
Yes.
Not going to use them then.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you see this situation. You're contemplating this situation. You're thinking, grappling hook or rocket boots? No, maybe not rocket boots. They're a little loud. And you see, you notice that as you are looking up at this, you hear Harley go,
Ah! Robbie!
and you turn and look. She has pulled her hammer, big fuck off hammer, off of her back, as there is now a group of 2 guards that have now passed around a corner and just kind of stopped, like shocked and surprised, and are now looking at you. They were not expecting anyone, and they were actually kind of chatting with one another, and then they noticed. So, in typical for this mission, in usual Metal Gear Solid fashion, we're gonna give you a surprise round to act against them because they weren't expecting you, and you two as hyper trained peak humans, borderline, you're superheroes and supervillains.
Mhm.
You can react first and to try to do something to them before they get to act.
I immediately shoot out 2 silent X's at them.
Okay, awesome. So those are both ranged attack rolls. So you want to make those?
22 and 16.
Yes, both of those will hit these 2 guards. So upon a hit, the X flies onto their mouth, correct?
Yes.
All right, so this sticky X sticker thing flies onto both of their mouths so that they cannot cry out. You have effectively eliminated their ability to call for help in the immediate vicinity or to call for help. Well, they could still activate their radios, but it would be like open channel static, which probably happens fairly often.
So how close are they to me currently?
They are 15 feet away. They just rounded a corner and saw you guys, and
I run over, and then use my flurry of blows to strike both of them.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and make your rolls.
Non-lethally,
Yeah. Okay.
just in case.
hmm
14 and 17.
A 14 and 17 to hit. The 17 will hit one of them.
Okay, stunning strike.
Stunning strike on that one. Okay, go ahead and roll damage as well. And I'll roll his constitution.
8 damage.
Okay, so you punch this dude. And he looks pretty hurt. He actually rolled pretty well on his constitution. He rolled an 18.
Oh, okay.
Right.
He saved.
So he doesn't seem to be stunned quite yet with that. But you run up and you swing at them. One of them like holds his gun up and like you just punch his gun instead, and he like kind of staggers back, and you're like, ah, and then you've got the red X suit on, thankfully, so it's a little resistant. You're like, ah, and then you turn and you try to punch the other guy. You're not able to get at his nerve clusters because of his kind of Kevlar padding situation he has going on, but you do hurt him pretty good. So that is your turn. With that, Harley Quinn sees this situation, and she is going to run up to act against these soldiers. Okay, yep. Pulls out her hammer.
Oh, jeez.
And is gonna fucking bonk one of these MFers. Okay. She goes for the one that you just kind of punched his gun and he kind of rolled back, but he's like the closest to being able to reposition his gun to fire. So she is going to she actually misses.
Oh,
So these guys have 15 armor class. So she actually got a 14, so she does not hit. She swings, and this guy is just like, huh! He like yells out in Karaki, and they probably all speak Arabic, but in Arabic, and they and like steps back as the hammer swings down and like hits the ground, and there's like it cracks, the pavement cracks a little bit. She's like,
Hold still, guy. Come on.
and now I'm going to want you to roll initiative for me. Oh wow, fucking 30.
I'll take that.
Incredible.
I'll take that.
Yeah, you'll probably finish it up then, but let's just for the sake of things. I was really looking forward to just fucking braining this dude right in front of you.
Listen, that's what I expected to happen. I'm shocked that she missed.
I know, and she's a rogue, so she doesn't. Well, did I give her multi? No, she just does a lot if she hits. So
That makes sense. Jeez.
So a rogue that uses strength and a fucking warhammer. To do so. All right. It is your turn, Robin. You saw this one guy almost get smacked with a big hammer, and then the other one is already been hurt by you. So what would you like to do?
So I want to do a backflip into the air and kick off of Harley.
Okay.
Specifically doing flurry of blows with the kick.
Okay. So, but are you doing your regular attacks first?
So, well, you don't have to do it exactly the same, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that flurry of blows happens with like after you take your attack action.
Can it happen during I take my attack action?
Well, I think you can apply stunning strike to any strike, right?
So
if that's what you're asking.
I'm not exactly going for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are you going for?
I'm going for an extract aspects on Harley Quinn.
Interesting.
in
Okay,
a
so
in
you
a not as obvious way.
okay. So interesting. So yeah, I would say so extract aspects is after you hit a creature, correct?
Yeah.
And a grapple check is a attack roll. So you can make a grapple check and it'll be thematically like you're like spinning one hand off of like her or like jump like, you're vaulting off of her or something like
Okay.
that. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
can't just kick her.
Nah, I mean, he's not it's against her armor class. So you just want to know something about her during this fight. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and make a I mean, if you don't want it to be to hurt her, then yeah, it's just a grapple check. So
Okay.
that's that's an athletics bonus. If that's the same as your to hit, then don't worry about that.
It's not.
But if it's different, then you want to.
It's lower than my to hit. So let's try it out. 23.
23. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure that'll do it. That will do it. Yes. She's like, ah.
And then as I kind of use her as like a kickoff and use extract
Mhm.
aspects, I want to shoot 2 titanium X's.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, so that would be your first attack that that hit against her, and then you've got a titanium X, right? So, and then you've got your bonus.
Can I use titanium X as my flurry of blows?
Um, I think flurry of blows. I'm pretty sure is just unarmed strikes.
That's why I want to kick her.
I see. Well, you could have done that at any point in the sequence, I suppose, because extract aspects is just after a hit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do that at any point.
Okay. Then
You
I'm
know,
gonna...
like at one point you might like you make a strike at you shoot at at the guys and then you like kind of like roll over her or something.
Yes, that's more what I'm going for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So so you shoot these titanium X's. Are those ranged attack rolls?
Those are ranged attack rolls. That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
get away.
Okay.
And I know that's
Okay.
probably going to be attack of opportunities.
It will be attack of opportunities. They have knives, but they don't have them pulled out yet. So they can make unarmed strikes at you. Really just punches. Like these guys will just try to punch you.
Come on. Well, one of the titanium X is a 10 because it's a natural 1. And then the other one's a 22.
17 does not hit you, right?
No.
Okay. So unfortunately they try to like swing at you as you go around and yeah, and you said you didn't. Did you hit with the titanium
I hit with
axes?
1.
With 1, okay.
Unless I have an
So
armor class of 10.
Unless they have an armor class of
10 is one of them.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they're higher than 10. So, one ducks out of the way, and then the other one gets hit with this X. Which one do you want to be hit? The more hurt one or the less hurt one?
Less hurt one.
Okay, you hit this dude with the titanium X. He has this thing on his mouth, so he can't speak, and now he has this massive X designed to hold a Starfire level person. With that wraps around him and hardens, and then he falls to the ground, and he's like struggling around there. He can't. His arms are pinned. His gun is kind of crushed a little bit as it's pinned to him as well. And he cannot fire his gun or do anything like that. So he is effectively he's restrained, and he's not going to get out of that. So not really an issue. So Yeah. So do you have anything else on your
So
turn?
my other thing would be, if that was a flurry of blows, do I get one
Hmm.
unarmed strike still?
I believe so. Yeah.
So then I'll step back into the other guy and strike at him with an unarmed strike
Okay.
for 23.
23 will hit.
And that's going to be a stunning strike.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage first.
Where's my damage? There it is. 8.
Okay. You actually don't need to devote the key point because you just sock this dude, knock him the fuck out. He crumples to the ground. Okay, so you have two guys. One guy is restrained and silenced with the silent X, and the other one is knocked unconscious. You CQC'd him into unconsciousness, and Harley lifts up her hammer like,
Hey, who wants it? Who wants it next? Come on. Come on.
It's over. Is there a dark hole somewhere that I can just kind of like drag these guys and kind of leave them?
Yes, so you grab these dudes and you drop them into one of the hidey hole places, like in Metal Gear Solid. You put it, you stand one up in like a weird locker thing, and then you put another one like in a trash can or something, and they're just there. They'll be found eventually, I guess. Yeah. You do not yet have the Fulton that you can extract them up and bring them back to Titan Tower and have them do the dishes and shit.
And admittedly, the funniest way to kill somebody.
Yeah. So,
And
all right.
question, since I did hit her with an extract
aspects, yes.
do I know
anything about her?
Damage roll
All right.
I don't think she probably has anything, but
so what does it give? Just remind me.
It gives damage vulnerabilities, damage resistances, damage immunities, and condition immunities. Yeah.
So, interesting. Damage resistance is poison.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
And that, so you said it gives a condition immunities. Yeah. So not an so basically when you hit her, your key connects to her energy and her life essence, and kind of gives you a sense that she has like a lot of her body has been tested on with a lot of Joker's chemicals. Ew, I hate that I said that.
Jeez.
It's not, well, yeah, probably those ones too, but also also his poisons, he would test them on his goons and on her. So she has the resistance to poison damage, and she also she doesn't straight up have like immunity to the poison condition, but she has sort of a toxic resilience where she would probably, well, in game mechanics terms, she would have advantage on saving throws against poison.
Fair. Okay. I motion to the balcony and pull out my grappling hook and shoot it up to the balcony.
She goes, oh, and she like puts her hammer, like slings her hammer on onto her back, and she like grabs onto you like around the waist, like under the arms, kind of like wraps her legs around one of your legs. And then you go up.
Once we get up there, I kind of shake her off.
Yeah, push her off of you. So basically what this is this building isn't positioned where there's a direct jump to the balcony. What it is that there's a direct jump from this building to the command center building, and there are some wooden posts that kind of come out of this building and go around the corner that you would then like jump step across and around the corner, and then to the balcony itself. So this is going to be a bit of an acrobatics check going on. So, okay,
Ew.
an 11.
From the acrobat.
Yeah, you really should have took expertise, bro, in that.
I took
It
it in
made
investigation and other things.
yeah, it would have made more sense for it to be acrobatics. Okay, so from this acrobat, this literal Olympic level gymnast, let's see what she can do.
Wait, he doesn't
with
have
her.
proficiency in acrobatics?
No,
And
he has proficiency.
proficiency, just not expertise.
It's not
Oh,
expertise, bro.
Okay.
I feel like
She
mechanically Batman's whole thing is just having a lot of proficiency and expertise.
Yeah. I always said, even at the beginning of the game, that if there was a skill that even you didn't explicitly take, but is like, no, of course the character has this skill, then we can say that. So you can have expertise if you want to in acrobatics.
I'll take it.
Okay, so that would just add another to your check?
Another 4. Looks like so
a 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me now roll hers with her plus 14. She rolled a 25. So easily you guys jump across, and then you hit this portion of these posts. You haven't really done something like this before. She literally is like, she's basically cartwheeling at this point across these fucking like wooden posts around the corner. And at a point you're trying to like follow, and you kind of like cracks a little bit, and you dip. You're like, ugh! And she like on like the back end of one of her cartwheels, she just like reaches out her hand and grabs your hand and like pulls you with like her rotating momentum like back onto the posts. And then you guys hop that last portion. I mean, you easily guys have the jump distances probably without even getting into like step of the wind
Footprints
stuff.
in the sand. These are the places where Harley Quinn carried you.
So you guys now alight onto the balcony portion with this open door of this building, this private residence built into the command center. And what you see on the inside is a big furnished room. It looks more like this place is built for comfort rather than leadership. There's pillows and cushions that are spread out around the floor over a lavish rug, with low to the ground tables set out probably to entertain guests with food. You see there in this room there's expenses. It's a big kind of like rectangular shaped room. There's expensive vases and beautiful crowns and jewelry, as well as expensive looking art pieces on the walls. And these vases and jewelry pieces are like set out in the room, like in glass, kind of in like cases, or set out on pedestals. It's like this whole room seems to be like an expression of ego. Yeah. So do you step further into the room? That's what you can easily see from the open balcony.
Is my passive perception picking up anything?
I will let you know.
I do have a 22.
Okay, cool. And is that the same for your investigation as well, or is that different?
My investigation is 27. Is my passive investigation.
Okay, 27.
So, yeah.
All right, so even better. Okay, cool. So, nothing as of yet from what you can see of the room from outside. Do you want to go inside?
I will stealthily make my way inside the room.
Okay, so you guys step into the room, and now you see that near the back of the room is an ornate wooden desk with an old PC on it, like a 90s or 80s Mac. I guess it'd be like an Apple or something, like an old clickety clackety, which are still common at this year, but like this is even an older model, not as good as the States have. But I mean, there's probably better stuff on this facility, but this is like probably a personal computer. And so behind it on the wall is a large painting. And the painting is, I guess I didn't even think about that, but the painting is just it's kind of a landscape um of a beautiful landscape of the desert, and there's like a portion with like an oasis in it, just another big art piece. But yeah, so this desk has this old PC on it, and there's various pieces of paper scattered about on the desk itself.
I'll slowly make my way over to the desk.
All right, so you make your way over to the desk. So yeah, there's these, glancing down at the paperwork, looks like various logistical details, documents. There's some handwritten notes on it about troop positioning and patrol routes, changing up the patrol routes, and things like that. Well, I suppose you wouldn't be able to fully read the personal, you wouldn't be able to fully read the notes because they'd mostly be in Arabic, but there's personal notes in Arabic. There's documents in Arabic and English, correspondence, just scattered around the desk. It doesn't look like anything of extreme detail, but there's also the PC.
I'll make my way to the PC then.
Okay, so you turn and go to the PC. There's, of course, a password on it, but it's not hard to hack. And you start looking through the files, and after a few minutes of that, you realize that there isn't really anything of key importance or particular interest for what you're looking for on the PC. At this point, Harley is looking around, and she looks back at you and she says,
Hey, Robbie, aren't we supposed to, like, put bombs around in here or something? He says, what are you snooping around for?
It's always good to know something about why we're doing this.
Why we're doing it? Oh, there's that superhero attitude going on.
and she just starts, she takes out a chunk of C4 and she goes,
And there,
and she like smacks it on the ground.
and here.
She like puts it on a painting.
Harley, do you know anything about why we're blowing this place up?
She says, well, the man on the news says that they hit us, so we gotta hit them back, right?
You know I don't mean the man on the news, right?
She says, she just shrugs her shoulders.
I don't know.
Does she seem like she's hiding anything?
And you can roll insight.
24.
Well, you don't think she gives much of a shit about the geopolitical situation, like what's true and what isn't. And she also doesn't seem to care about like whatever her handler, Waller, wants with all this, or Logan. And now you kind of realize with your insight check that you don't really know why she's doing this. What got her out of Gotham? Why she's working with the U.S. military in this Black Ops operation? And what is motivating her to, well, to not just fuck off into the desert and like get a cab in some town in Quebec?
Why are you here, Harley?
She kind of stopped. She was looking at a vase, and she said, kind of like she was would be kind of sad to blow it up, but also conflicted about the fact that she would love to blow it up because it's pretty. But she hears you ask that, and she kind of turns back and she looks.
Well, Robbie, it's an interesting question.
She kind of like shifts from one foot to the other.
But it's almost not as interesting as why you're here. I mean,
She like walks up to the desk really fast and leans over to you, and she says,
they don't got one of those in you, do they?
and she kind of points to the back of her neck, like taps the back of her neck.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I should say.
Nobody's listening.
She looks at you, and she just has this kind of crazy expression in her eyes. She goes,
How do you know, Robbie? How do you know they're not listening?
Guess it could be. We'd have to care.
Well, I usually wouldn't. But, I kinda do.
she just kind of like scrunches her shoulders up again and like kind of rubs the back of her neck.
Well, however, whatever they got with you, I don't think it's as physical with me and my team, but they got something hanging over us too.
Yeah. That would be the thing they'd get you kind of kids with, wouldn't it?
Seems like we should fight back.
Roll persuasion.
20.
She kind of gets this interesting expression on her face, and she goes,
Yeah. Maybe we should, Robbie. Maybe we should. If the opportunity arises.
We might have an opportunity here. Why would you want to blow this place up so badly?
I don't know. There's like terrorists or something?
There's something here that he doesn't want us to have.
She kind of looks around the room. She says,
Something valuable?
and she kind of like looks kind of like greedily at like what some of the like the one of the crowns in one of the cases in the room.
Think more information.
And at this point, as you're talking to her, you were kind of still kind of like looking around the desk, checking drawers as you were talking, and you kind of just idly, as like a force of like investigative training, you ran your hand underneath the kind of the frame of the painting, and you hit a little switch you feel under your glove.
I look at it to make sure it's not some kind of trap.
Yeah, you kind of glance down at the underneath, and it just it doesn't look to be a trap. With your passive investigation, that'll give you that information as well. Seems that the big painting on the wall hides some sort of mechanism.
Maybe something like this, and I push the button.
The painting and kind of like swings free from the wall, and you push it open on a big hinge, and you see that this big, floor to ceiling painting, kind of reveals, it swings free, and reveals a passageway that opens up to there's a passageway into like a back room.
You coming? Or are you going to keep planting bombs?
She just kind of like dumps the rest on the ground, and then she says,
Yeah, let's check it out.
all right, so there's a passageway to a smaller back room. As you step forward, your infrared immediately picks up some light disturbance, and you and you just kind of you take like a handful of you probably have like a gadget or something on your Red X, and you spray, and there are lasers. Well, actually, no, that I'm sorry, they're actually not the sensor kind of lasers. They're like very obvious, like a burn you kind of lasers. There's a laser grid in the passageway to the back room.
Does it look like they're all kind of connected wiring wise?
Well, the wiring would probably be in the wall, like somewhere. If you damaged an emitter, like you don't think the whole grid. No, it's not like it's a reflecting laser and you just have to kill one emitter and it would stop. And then you don't know if some sort of alarm would go off if you damage the trap.
Does it look like we can sneak past them?
Yes, if you guys make an acrobatics check.
There might not be great. Acrobatics. So let's try.
Well, I did just give you expertise of it, so
25. That's a little bit better
25.
now.
Let me roll hers. Oh yes, a 32.
Oh,
You both just hop and leap through this area, like spy movie style. You get through the laser grid and get to the other side with no issues.
seems like there is something they want to protect.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
All right. You guys step into this room, and in this room, I feel like the appropriate music is like that scene where Mr. Incredible finds the the information. Yeah. Everyone's dead. So you get into this room, and what you see, in your more paranoid planning moments, in that dark room that you have at home, with all the newspaper clippings on the walls, this is a room like that. It seems like a room of theory and connection and evidence. There are clippings in multiple different languages. I mean, you recognize some European languages, English from both the United States and from Europe, and a couple Asian languages as well. And you, and of course, Arabic and a lot of languages of different newspaper clippings and information. And you see what this person has in here is essentially like a big room conspiracy board with these threads connecting to particular points. And at these particular points, you find at each of these connection points connecting different cases, and also there's like historical texts. It's not just like modern intelligence, it's like going back hundreds of years, like references in like an open book, like the page has been torn out, or in some cases just like the whole book has been like nailed onto the wall, and with the text open to the most relevant point. And you see there's all these historical documents as well as information from more modern information agencies, and going back many, many years. And the culmination comes to a cluster, and there are these photos there. Photos looking to be from several different eras. And there's writing about how valuable. There's like mad scrawling from this person about how valuable this information is about Logan, one of the oldest advisors to the US government and their secret operations, could all be pulled down by his own people if they knew the truth about him. And you see in these pictures, you see a picture of Logan from long ago. He's has his arm around an Arab man. He looks and he's dressed differently. He has glasses on, these old spectacles. Um and he has his arm around an Arab man, and they are smiling for this picture, like a very old photograph. And you notice in these many of these photographs that he's out in the sun, which confirms that this was before he became a vampire. You see pictures, like war pictures, like looks like World War One uniforms. Then, yeah, World War Two, of him at different stages. Obviously, at different stages, he must have been, at later stages, he must have transformed into a vampire at some point. But what you also see in the older pictures, the ones with him out in the sun, he's not just the activities that he's engaging in. And you realize with dread that this blackmail that would destroy his reputation with the US, it's such a petty, disgusting thing to use against him. Because, well, they're pictures of him with friends of long past, all kneeling down, praying, and engaging in their religious activities. As it seems now, a Muslim person. It seems that the US, this is the unforgivable sin of the United States industrial complex. This is the thing that they would not accept, that they would kick out one of their oldest advisors for.
Well, dang, that got heavy.
Yeah.
Robin just kind of stands there for a second and just drops his C4 bag and turns and walks away.
Okay. Harley, she seems confused. She seems to not be taking in all this information. But she stays and watches for a moment longer, and Harley is not dumb by any means, even though she acts ditzy. She seems to figure it out. And you standing there with your fists clenched, she walks up behind you and she says,
Hey, Robbie. So, yeah. This is why I just rob banks and run around with a clown. Because this stuff out here in the real world, it's real shitty.
How am I supposed to protect my friends? When to do that, I have to stoop to that level.
Well, I don't know, kid. But,
she kind of like lifts her hammer. She says,
have you tried hitting them really hard instead?
Robin actually You can tell he cracks a smile. Yeah, seems like that's the next option. Let's get out of here.
And well, I guess first you'll have to roll acrobatics to, well, you already know the route, so you can reverse engineer that. I won't make you roll again.
we both die in the fire in the lasers.
You both just like trip and like get cut into pieces. But so with that, you guys are able to reverse your process, and you step back out into the room, finish setting up the C4. Committed, you have this all recorded in your mask footage, but it will be a future decision to see if you utilize this information. But you look out into the night and you hear a loud sound as the rest of the plan sets off. Well, actually, you'd get out of the facility first. You get out of the facility, and then you see the big sound of the dam, of something happening to the dam. I'm sure it'll be loud, but
It will.
and that is where we will end this episode of Teen Titans Roll.
So are we gonna blow it up at the same time as the dam blows up?
Yes, you have a remote.
I would definitely hand that over to Harley.
She goes, "Oh yes," and she hits it, and this shit explodes. So at the same time of whatever loud thing happens, Harley sets this off, and the whole building blows up.
Very good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yay!
So that's the end of the episode. Yay! Religious extortion.
What a way to end it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna cast disguise self on myself to make myself look like an Arab.
Don't do that.
Oh no! Why did you say that as soon as we started recording?
I can do my best to imitate the Arab language if it would help.
Oh, stop! You violated the law.
Can you tell us what the name of that language is?
It sounds something like.
Oh no!
The name of the language. The name of the language.
He's like a Gen Xer. We've been calling you Boomer, but you're like Gen X.
He's
racism.
like a Gen X rated. Don't go there.
Yo.
He's like a Gen. Hey, don't touch me there. That is my no square. Okay, let's.
So what's actually happening?